Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Lacey, Washington, and Marcus Pavilion for another edition of Great Northwest Athletic Conference Women's Basketball. My name is Scott Gladstone. Alongside me is Sean Wally, and we are so excited to bring you this conference matchup between the visiting MSU Billings Yellow Jackets and the host St. Martin Saints. This is an early season conference matchup. Both teams just have a handful of games under their belts in GNAC play. MSU Billings last week, they came into the new year receiving votes. They were, really excited about it. And then, they kind of got the wake-up call to the grind of conference play. And Central Washington University handled them really well. And then right after that, they lost a close affair with the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks. Sean, looking at their squad, it's a fairly split kind of three-headed monster for the most part, but they have a lot of different weapons, but led in scoring by Carrie-Ann Kunkel.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch out for Kunkel. You've got Aspen Giese. They're 11-4 coming into this contest, just suffering their first two conference defeats this past weekend. And conversely, St. Martin's looking for their first conference win, and we've got some changes. Shake things up a little, Coach.
Yeah. Coach Christy Martin going with, the full shake-up lineup. Angel Galbraith, who's been incredibly consistent. She retains her starting role, as does Lauren Morris, but then three really different looks. Players that we've seen time off the bench from, but first career starts for three different Saints in the form of Maya Hatchett-Gross, Sarah Lamette, and Madeline Brown. All three of those players are freshmen. So it should be really interesting to see that we get from that trio. There's probably some strategy in play, as well as, the disappointing loss against Western Oregon last week, and Martin trying to give everybody on that bench a wake-up call that nobody's spot is guaranteed. So we'll see how that shakes up. It will be the 6'4" freshman Sarah Lamette facing off against Deani Boyce on the tip, won by the Saints.
You briefly mentioned St. Martin was playing only one time last week, losing to Western Oregon on New Year's Eve.
Angel Galbraith with it. She drives to the rack, flips to Sarah Lamette. Lamette a little bit too strong on the bucket. Rebound goes to the Yellow Jackets, now their first offensive possession. Aspen Giese brings it up the court. Shayla Montague, Courtney Nelson, Carrie-Ann Kunkel, and the aforementioned Deani Boyce make up the starting five. A turnover will head the way of the Saints.
Missed shot point blank by St. Martin's, and a turnover now by the Jackets, as they're being called. I hear jacket. I don't think a Yellow Jacket. I hear it's cold in Montana where you've been. You put on a jacket. Not a Yellow Jacket, but hey, I see T-shirts that say MSUB Jackets.
The Jackets jacket. Angel Galbraith gets it into Lauren Morris there. Down to Sarah Lamette. Lamette spins and flips with the left hand. They've gone to Lamette twice down on the low block. She's 1 for 2 down there. Maybe that's something they're looking for.
Clearly wanting to take advantage of her height. The nice scoop from the hip.
Now the Yellow Jackets with it. Right around the perimeter, Christy Martin playing defense from behind, just as her team is from in front of Courtney Nelson there. Now driving to the rack, a missed shot. Lauren Morris might have got a piece of it. Morris brings it up, slows up the offense now, and will get it to Galbraith to set it up.
Whether or not on the defensive side Morris hit that shot or not, the effort was there.
Now Morris kicks out. This is Rios for three off line. And rebound goes to the Yellow Jackets. I don't know if we had a quick sub or not, but it seems like Maya Hatchett-Gross has been subbed off the floor. Yes, she was quickly subbed off the floor for Kiana Rios. And a missed shot goes the way of the Saints. Flipped up, nearly got it to go, did Angel Galbraith. Would have been a miraculous and one. Instead, two more shots at the free throw line for the GNAC leader in free throws taken, Angel Galbraith. And free throws made as well. That was her 75th free throw that she's taken this season.
Is that all?
12 through 11 games. This is the start of her 12th. Misses both, which is rare for her. She's a 75% free throw shooter. Still 2-0 Saints in the early going. Bringing it up wearing the face mask is Courtney Nelson. Now the ball's gotten down low and nearly a travel, but the defense still applauded as Lauren Morris picks the pocket of Nelson. Cross-court pass to Kiana Rios. She misses from three-point land. Defensive in the early going with a couple missed shots, a couple turnovers. Still only the Sarah Lamette bucket to show for it. And there's a missed shot and a good box out from Madeline Brown to head it the other way.
Field goal's hard to come by.
And, yep, just like you said, right there, Angel Galbraith usually making that shot, but put a little too much on it as Nelson brings it the other way. Wide open three-pointer, in and out.
Can't get any more wide open there for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, that's Aspen Giese out of Fort Benton, Montana. I love playing Montana State Billings, and I said this beforehand to head coach Kevin Wooden, because it's one state that I know all the little towns out of, and I'll talk a little bit about some of them for sure, because there are a lot of small Montana towns represented on this MSUB roster. Sarah Lamette tries to go off glass, misses it. Madeline Brown can't come up with a rebound, goes the other way. Nelson running the point.
Nearly 4 minutes gone by, only 2 points.
And Giese just airballed that one. She was more wide open on that one than the first. I don't know what is in the air tonight, but
should we ask Phil Collins?
this is brutal. This is brutal. Lauren Morris, she tries her luck, and she cannot hit. Offensive rebound to Sarah Lamette. Before it is grabbed simultaneously by Deani Boyce.
Just a struggle on the offensive end for both teams. 5:53 left in the first quarter. Just one field goal between the two teams.
Now bringing it up are the Yellow Jackets. A couple subs in for both sides now. See Avery Oster out there. And the first shot is made by MSUB. Taryn Shelley, I believe, that got that one to go through. 2-2 now. Lauren Morris down low, gets it to Oster. Oster doesn't have the finishing touches. Rebound, Rios, but a foul, I believe, on Ryan Clear on the rebound. And it is.
Trying to get a read on Saints head coach Christy Martin, and she's just stoic with her arms crossed. Can't really tell. She's got to be thinking, get that ball in the basket. What is going on? Halfway through the first quarter, each team has one field goal.
The bench sure is loving the defense, however. This is a long three splashed in from Danielle Zahn. First three-pointer of the ball game. The Yellow Jackets are in a 2-3 zone, it looks like, against the Saints here. And there's an errant pass there. Miscommunication between Galbraith and Oster. Kiana Rios takes it away. And then it's off of the Yellow Jackets. Almost a jump ball, but in the end, she just gets a caused turnover there and doesn't change the possession arrow at all. Great play from the freshman. Low scoring first quarter. We're over halfway through. It's 5-2, MSUB in front. Welcome back here. It's 4:15 left in the first quarter. The Saints will be bringing it up now after the media timeout. And now it's a 1-3-1 zone look from MSU Billings. In the corner, Rios wide open. In and out. Rebound goes to the Yellow Jackets. Quickly brought up the floor, then slowed up. Skylar Patton gets it to her post, and then the turnaround splashes through from Natalie Andreas.
Good quick move, not giving Morris time on defense.
Oster down near the low block, now in the short corner. Cross-court pass finds Angel Galbraith. Rios in the corner. And under the basket, Avery Oster was wide open there for a second. Dribbled maybe into more trouble, but then got it with some contest on it. 7-4 the score line with 3 minutes to go in the first. Firing away from three and going back iron is Danielle Zahn. Rebound clear. Now Rios on the fast break. She loops through, puts it up and under, misses the layup, gets her own rebound, and it's flung up. Jump ball.
Wow. Christy Martin doesn't like the call. She's got her arms in the air like, what? How was that possible? Not a foul. Jump ball, but thankfully possession arrow to the Saints.
Yeah, it was just a second ago, right before that media timeout, when Rios seemed to have simultaneous possession for, a half second or a second. You're allowed that, and before the jump ball is called. But seeing that just a second ago, Christy Martin looked at that and said, was that the same time given? This ball is let into Sarah Lamette, and a quick whistle there for a foul call on the arm of her freshman big.
Only 7-4 the count. Yellow Jackets in the lead. Yellow Jackets averaging 69.7 per game. St. Martin's 62.1, so they both got work to do.
Right now, not on pace to get a high number. This one's deflected, ends up going out off of the Yellow Jackets. Madeline Brown will check back in for Kiana Rios. Earlier scores from around the GNAC. Simon Frazier upset Northwest Nazarene 66-61. And Central Washington was down by Western Washington 82-70. That one's looped up and in. And it's 7-6 now. The other game going on as our game is Seattle Pacific and Western Oregon. Seattle Pacific taking it to them already, 22-4. Yellow Jackets with the offensive possession, goes up and under the basket, gets rejected by the rim, then gets it back, flips that one up, and that one doesn't go.
The effort's there by both teams. They're just not getting the shots to fall.
That was Chloe Williams that missed both of those shots there. She's a Washington native out of Liberty Lake, Washington. That one's stolen away from Avery Oster, and then Oster commits the foul.
Each team with 3 field goals, the 1 point difference, a 3-pointer by the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, pretty easy to keep track of every single field goal that's gone down so far.
Even math, I can do it.
Yeah, we're not in a track meet yet. We don't even have free throws by either side to wrinkle anything. 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Hand off to Giese. Screen, Giese still with it. Now rotation around the perimeter, driven in, looped up and in. Tough shot for Deani Boyce.
Nice drive by Boyce.
And clear call for the travel.
Morris just a short break. She's back on the floor.
A minute and a half to go in this 9-6 ball game. MSUB in front. Courtney Nelson got that face mask on. It's a long two put up. Ben rolls in for Carrie Ann Kunkel.
Shots starting to fall for the Yellow Jackets as they extend the lead to 5.
11-6 here in the first quarter. Lauren Morris with it. Back into man-to-man are the Yellow Jackets. Madeline Brown with it. She's right around the perimeter. Looks in to Sarah Lamette. Double team coming. She kicks it out to Morris. Now 6 on the shot clock. Shot up by Clear. Missed, and the rebound goes to Nelson. Kick out. Montague. Long on the 3. Offensive board. Nearly traveled there, did Boyce. And the rebound's now being spiked around practically. Another three-pointer coming. This one goes for Montague.
Just a matter of time. Got to keep shooting. Shots will eventually fall, and they're starting to for the Yellow Jackets.
Only 6 points in the first quarter for the Saints. This is their last possession of the quarter. They'll run the clock down for last shot. Morris with it. 5 on the clock. Galbraith in. Missed the shot. Lamette gets it back and puts it in for the buzzer beater. Something positive to come away from the first quarter for the Saints, where not a lot of shots fell, but Sarah Lamette with a strong first quarter offensively in terms of her career is able to put something on the board for the Saints to finish it off. We are through one quarter, 3 to go. It's 14-8 Yellow Jackets. We'll take another quick break here on the Saints Digital Network. Back here, start of the second quarter. In the first, it was 14-8. The Yellow Jackets in front, but neither side really grabbing too much momentum. This one's a lot of contact on the inside. Challenging the bigger Lamette was Carrie Ann Kunkel. Now the kick out for 3, and that's a little bit too strong from Kiana Rios. She has had a couple open looks from distance, has not been able to make one fall, and surely that has hurt the Saints offense.
Just a head scratcher for St. Martin's, why shots will not fall, and they are continuing to fall now for MSUB.
Yeah, Montague finding her rhythm. There's another 3 for her, and she's got the MSUB lead up to 9. Montague playing in her hometown of Billings, Montana. She's a Billings West Golden Bear graduate. Sarah Lamette with it. She gets it to Rios. Rios gets it to Brown. Brown back to Rios. Rios tries again from three-point land, and there she gets one to fall. That could be a bad thing to see if you're an MSUB fan, because you do not want to allow Kiana Rios to get going. Montague with it, guarded by Rios. Now it's Giese back to Montague in the corner, wide open. Kunkel throws all the way across court, and that one was only intended for Tierney Didonitis, who is an assistant coach on the sideline. An errant pass, turnover goes to the Saints.
Got to stay ready on that bench.
I'm surprised T didn't catch it over there. maybe a little out of playing shape and more into coaching shape. Although I've walked by a couple practices, and the way she coaches, it seems like she's ready to get out there and lace him up with them.
Don't make me play this back for her. She'll get you out there on the floor.
I don't want that. This one looped up and missed by Angel Galbraith. Good rotation yet again from MSUB to find Courtney Nelson wide open. Missed the shot. Rebound Galbraith. Galbraith bringing it up. Kicked out Rios with loads of time to fire and sink it.
You said it, loads of time. She had plenty of time for a perfect shot. Great rotation. A triple that much needed by the Saints.
Rios heating up. Saints within 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back here, Yellow Jackets taking a timeout. Head coach Kevin Wooden in his 19th season. Started all the way back in 2004. Wanted to talk it over with his squad. Again, as I mentioned before, made up with the majority of Montana players. Can't be said about the men's team, which only has one Montana player on the men's version of the Yellow Jackets. Great defense possession of the Saints. No great looks at the basket. And then a foul called, I think, on Emily Nelson. Yeah, that's essentially going to work out as a bailout. That clock was running down, and they had the Yellow Jackets on the top rope before bailing them out there with that late in the shot clock foul. They're going to reset back to 20. Giese drives. Nelson comes over, then kicks it. Nice shot from Deani Boyce, who gets it to go from deep 2-point range.
Somehow MSUB scored 79 on New Year's Eve.
79, and they came up short.
They did.
Against
1 point loss to NNU.
Angel Galbraith too long on the shot. Rebound Morris, but she just volleyball taps it. And then it's, after Madeline Brown saves it, it's called a travel on Kiana Rios, who was driving to the bucket. 19-14 is the scoreline. Sarah Lamette, her last 4 field goals, 3 for 4, but she's off the court right now. Ball's down low, and now back down low. That was not a great pass into Taryn Shelley. Emily Nelson. Ooh, that was nearly a travel, doesn't get called. And it ends up going in for Deani Boyce. And Christy Martin, after getting a travel called on their last offensive possession, surely going to let the referee hear it. Looks like the foot slid out from Boyce. That's the reason they were trying to get the call down there. 10 on the shot clock for the Saints. Nelson with it. Galbraith, 5 to go. Galbraith drives, dishes it perfectly to Lauren Morris. Just drew in Boyce, and Morris was wide open on the right block. Three-pointer from Giese. She hits right back. Nelson with it at the high post. Karen Shelley more than happy to give it to Nelson from the high post, but not necessarily there, as that pass was off the mark from Kiana Rios and goes out of bounds 24-16. The Saints got it within 3, but now it's back up to 8 for MSUB.
St. Martin's has to be careful here not to let this get away before halftime. You said they got within 3. Very manageable at 3. 8, not so much. And a turnover there, this could get to double digits here with 5:28 left.
Courtney Nelson will bring it up. Sophomore guard, 5'8". Guarded by Angel Galbraith. That was some sort of miscommunication. Nobody was guarding Aspen Giese, but a good rotation by Rios, and now she's coming the other way, and she's fouled by Giese.
You look at Giese just standing there with a kind of a dumbfounded look on her face. I'm not sure she touched Rios, but nonetheless, officials saw it differently.
Yeah, she definitely created something on Rios' shot, but probably more of Rios' reaction and then putting it into the bottom of the rim. It just looked awkward from Rios, so that's why the call went against Giese there. Her second foul. Rios makes both free throws from the line.
Free throws will be key in this one for St. Martin's to get back in it.
Lauren Morris, great post defense. Oh, but then Rios threw it right beyond the Morris, who was waiting there, who tipped that away from Boyce, and Boyce was waiting on the other side and got an easy layup. Ends up working out great for MSUB. Lamette with it, triple teamed, and a missed shot, I think that was, as they continue to look into Lamette. They're really trying to take advantage with Lamette's size here. Galbraith gets it taken away. 1-on-3 will be held up by Chloe Williams. Then, they had a trap in the corner, but didn't get close enough on it, and a high splashing shot from Natalie Andreas goes in. 10-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. It's been their defense that has emphasized their performance in this first half.
Galbraith has been quiet this first half for St. Martin. She's had a couple nice assists, but she needs to get more effective on the scoring front with her team down 10.
That's a foul there, a little too aggressive. Guarding the post there was Andreas. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor, but you mentioned it. Angel Galbraith 0 points right now through a little over 15 minutes. Never mind, we're not having a timeout on the floor. I guess that timeout by Kevin Wooden counted as our media timeout, so we get to play right through it. Rios finds Morris, wide open. Morris puts it in.
Lauren Morris can get hot very quickly, and the Saints will need that the rest of this first half, and of course into the second half as well.
Boyce and Rios right now splitting the lead for total points scored. They each have 8 for their respective squads. Great defense by Madeline Brown. She gets a block, but it will not be a block because it was a foul on Brown. Got some hand along with the ball there, and Christy Martin again will have another conversation with one of our referees tonight. First shot, front iron from Carrie Ann Kunkel. Hamilton, Montana native, but a JUCO product out of Wenatchee Valley College, which is just over the mountains in Yakima. No, not Yakima. So Wenatchee, I think.
What school?
Wenatchee Valley College?
That would be Wenatchee.
That would be Wenatchee. Natalie Andreas, who's from Yakima, who went to Wenatchee Valley College. I think that's where I got tripped up there. And we got a jump ball as Sarah Lamette has to fight for possession with Natalie Andreas. 3:02 to go in this second quarter. Saints trying to keep it at single digits as they get their kind of spinorama inbounds play. And it goes into Lauren Morris, who's ISO'd up and puts it in. You mentioned it, don't let Morris get hot because she can get going quick too.
Saints need to keep feeding Morris. Just 2:48 and change for them to mount whatever comeback they can, down 7.
6 points for Morris. She's 3 for 4 from the field. Right now, Galbraith in a little bit of a mismatch. She's guarding Andreas. Now Andreas from long range can only hit the backboard, and it's out off of the Yellow Jackets. Andreas trying to dial it up from deep three-point land. Not too bad of a thought. She is 31% from long range this season. 231. 29-27.
Scott's remarkable how field goal percentage can change. Saints 28% in the first quarter, 62 here in the second. And very similar for MSUB, 37% in the first, 60 here in the second.
And another traveling called on the Saints. And I'm sure that's painful for head coach Christy Martin to see. That's their 7th turnover on the game. Ball down low, double team coming, then looped out. All the way around, and an air ball is out of bounds.
Saints got away with one there. They got stuck in the double team, leaving some Yellow Jackets open. Thankfully for the Saints, they get the ball back.
Yeah, with Shelley down on the low block, but then kicked it out. One more pass. Had an open look for the Yellow Jackets, but couldn't convert and couldn't hit anything as it went out of bounds because they probably weren't in great position to box out everybody on the floor as well. This one's stolen. And the press was put on to Kunkel, who had the steal, but another turnover from the Saints. That's 8 for them. Saints seem to be comfortable switching on pretty much everything as that one rims out for Montague.
Morris yet another rebound. Going coast to coast.
Spinorama for her. Oh my goodness, she committed a foul there. It looked to me like she was grabbing the forearm more than the ball, but a jump ball will be called, and it will go the way of the Yellow Jackets. From my angle, it looked like it was a little too aggressive from Morris, as we're going to see a handful of players jump in for the first time today. Maya Hedges-Gross, Eternity Reed, as well as Keely Jade Smith. Full court press put on, but it's just a man-to-man full court press put on, as it was Skylar Patton that brought it up. Now into their offense are the Yellow Jackets with 1:13 to go in this first half. Patton with it. Kicks out. This is Kunkel.
5 to shoot.
Double team, perfect time. Ooh. An all hustle from Rios there that knocked that away. Gets it to Hatchett-Gross. Hatchett-Gross goes off glass. Rebound, Rios, who got up to get that, and then she throws an interception. Now coming the other way, it's Patton heading it up. Bodies hitting the floor left and right. Kicked out Montague. Montague can't convert on the three. And Keely Jade Smith, Rios with such a strong rebound, she knocked over her teammate. And now players will maybe try and catch their breath. Keely Jade Smith misses from three-point land. The shot clock will be turned off for this final possession for MSUB. And we'll have about a little over 10 seconds probably to absorb the possible final play.
To be a fly on the wall in the Saints locker room. Coach Martin has just rolled her eyes, looked up at the ceiling a few times in disgust.
Yeah, she has to be frustrated with some of the offense that she's seen today, especially during the chaotic possessions like that. However, you can't knock the defense that has kept this game close. And right there, nearly a late in the game clock steal from Angel Galbraith. They do have one more foul to give, however, and that was Galbraith's first foul. Down to Eternity Reed guarding Taryn Shelley, who hits the turnaround as the game clock was winding down there. A 9-point lead for MSUB into the locker room. Not too much, but the way the Saints offense has been going, a 9-point lead feels like a lot, doesn't it, Sean?
36% from the field for St. Martin's. I don't care who you are, that's not going to get it done. And yeah, 9 is better than 10, which is the largest lead the Yellow Jackets have had so far in the first half. Saints need to find a way to get the ball in the basket moving forward.
8 points, improved upon in the second quarter by 14 points. However, they were outscored in both quarters by the Yellow Jackets with 14 and 17 respectively. It's a 31-22 ball game at halftime. We will take about a 10-minute, 13-minute break.
Grab a beverage, heat up the popcorn.
Exactly, enough so that we can take a break for what should be an exciting second half of play. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have just under a minute to go until the start of the second half here between the MSU Billings Yellow Jackets and the St. Martin Saints. It's 31-22 here. Scott Gladstone and Sean Wally with you. Sean, first half, obviously low scoring, 31-22. It was just a 14-8 first quarter, and I mean, really, a lot of the stats are pretty close. The one difference we see is turnover and field goal percentage.
Turnovers in favor of the Yellow Jackets. They only have 5. St. Martin's nearly double at 9. So you got to clean that up if you're St. Martin's. And then the field goal percentage. Both teams not shooting nearly what they would like. 36% for St. Martin's, just 43 for MSU Billings. That's got to change. It started to change in the second quarter. We were seeing shots falling and good things happening on the offensive side for both clubs. But man, 13 of 30 for the Yellow Jackets, just 9 of 25 for St. Martin's.
Ball is inbounded to Angel Galbraith. We're underway here in quarter number 3. Ball is right away put down to Sarah Lamette. Lamette back to Brown. Brown gets it to Galbraith. They'll reset. Rios on. Rios to Galbraith. We got 6 on the shot clock. Galbraith to the rack. Flips it up and in. Angel Galbraith. Wow.
What a good start to the half. If that's a sign of things to come, watch out. We talked about it ending the first half, that Galbraith has to get more involved on the offensive side, and apparently Coach Martin thought so as well.
Galbraith makes the free throw, converts the three-point play. It's a 6-point contest. Right away, Angel Galbraith. I mean, yeah, that's something. She had a very uncharacteristic first half where she was not contributing a ton on the offensive end, at least in terms of points output.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
Saints are shooting 100% in the third quarter.
100%. From the field and the free throw line.
So are the Yellow Jackets.
So are the Yellow Jackets. Three-pointer on the way, a different kind of three-point play from Aspen Kesey.
Galbraith the miss on the drive.
Yeah, and then Sarah Lamette puts it off of Kesey and out under the basket. Just 3 points in that first half. Or no, 0 points in that first half for Angel Galbraith. She did have 3 assists. Galbraith with it now. Oh, what a pass. Lasered it across to the low right block, and Sarah Lamette, 6'4" frame, reaches up there, grabs it out of the sky, and puts it in for 2.
It's what Coach Martin was drawing up to start the game as well, going down low.
Now this is Lamette versus Carrie-Ann Kunkel. Kunkel, and she has 6 inches lower against Sarah Lamette, at least as the roster reads. But Kunkel works a good move on her to get part of the way by her and get the foul. 2 free throws now for the former Hamilton Bronx. Second free throw, up and good. Angel Galbraith weaving through defenders and eventually tries to put up a layup, but it goes short. Just a little bit too much work for her to do. And it goes the other way. 9-point lead for the Yellow Jackets is restored. Saints continue switching on most screens here. Ball is set into Kunkel, but then sent back out. Now down the baseline. It's flipped up and in. What a difficult shot from Courtney Nelson.
Nelson looking menacing with that face guard. Is menacing on that reverse lay-in.
Sarah Lamette with it. Lamette puts it to the ground and then finds a wide open Madeline Brown. That's the thing, when you get double and triple teamed like they're treating Lamette, she realized, hey, somebody's going to be open. She turned around, found a wide open Brown.
Great awareness by Lamette.
DC over to Montague. Montague looks down low. Kunkel guarded by Lamette. Kunkel puts it up and in. Kunkel starting to get automatic from the field, it seems.
Definitely seeing a change in field goal percentage to start the third.
Charge is called on Lauren Morris there. Great play. And it's on the other side, Carrie Ann Kunkel. That draws the charge, and MSUB will now try and break a press. As it looks to just be full court 1-3-1. Works to perfection.
That was a very quick jump ball call. Rios snatched that away, and Christy Martin is not happy on the sideline.
Yeah.
Rios ripped that away pretty quickly. The official doesn't agree.
Coming down the other way now, however, the jump ball arrow does change. And we got a foul called on the inside. We saw a lot of foul calls kind of slowing up play. And, of course, the missed shots, turnovers, all that can be culprit number one for the low score. But I think in that first half, a lot of traveling, a handful of quick jump ball calls like we just saw there on the other side. And that definitely contributed to neither team being able to find a rhythm. Kicked out. Short, but wide open to get the rebound there was number 30, Boyce. Boyce then gets it back again off of her own miss, and the ball is battered around. Seems like forever. Now Kunkel with it. A step through, flips it up. That's missed. And a foul somewhere. They're going to call Lamette for fouling Kunkel.
Her third foul of the evening, and that's something that Christy Martin's going to have to take note of. And sure enough, looks like Sarah will head to the bench.
And then we're going to get a hockey sub on the other side there with the departure of Lamette. It's the only foul trouble we can really report there. We do have Morris with 2 for the Saints and Giese with 2 for the Yellow Jackets. Kunkel makes the first. I would decipher right now the demeanor from Christy Martin as tech watch. I think she's starting to get frustrated with the officials, and that mixed with her frustration for a team. Another call that goes against her could maybe push her over because she's really been letting the officials hear it over the past couple calls. Oster with it down in the middle. Now it's Keely Jade Smith. Rios, they needed that, and it goes off back iron.
Bailout.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I thought it was a little ticky-tacky on the other side. The one they called the Lamette, that one equally so. As it looked to me, I'm a fan of a good box out, and it looked to me like that was just bodies bumping on a box out. Galbraith, cross court, Keely Jade Smith. She's fouled. Man, we might be here till 10 o'clock if the fouls are getting called this quick right now.
If you are watching in Montana, a fan, a friend, family member of one of these players, the men's team from Billings are playing at Western Washington. They're up 48-41 as they start the third quarter. To keep you informed, so hopefully you stay here and watch this game.
That's a big contest on the men's side. Both those squads contenders in the GNAC. Three-pointer on the way and good. The Saints needed that one from Rios, and she splashes it home. Back to single digits. It's 41-32. Almost halfway through this third quarter. Oh my goodness.
Where?
We can't see one play without a foul being called either side. And whether I was coaching or playing down there, I would be banging my head against the wall, as we are already in the bonus for the Yellow Jackets, as that foul was called on Angel Galbraith.
Well, whatever each team had in the locker room, they might want some more of that to drink, because field goal percentage 60% for the Yellow Jackets in this quarter. St. Martin's 57.1. How the tides are turning.
Keely Jade Smith with it. She puts it off target. It's stolen back by the Saints. Then Brown flips it up and nearly got it to go. And another whistle will stop play at 4:53. And that's our media timeout. Took us a while to get there, but we are there. It is 43-32 with 4:53 left in the third quarter. Back here, 4:53 to go. 43-32 is our scoreline. Head coach Kevin Wooden, already mentioned in his 19th season for MSU. On the other side, Christy Martin in her 7th season.
A lot of coaches in the GNAC with long tenures.
Yeah. I think it has to do a variety of things. I think pretty much all the towns that the GNACs are in are good places to live, raise a family, all those things. And you see it a lot of coaches that if they have some sort of success, they'll stick around for a while. They're not looking to move anywhere. They're content with where they're at. Ball being passed around for the Yellow Jackets after Brown goes 2-2 from the line, cuts the lead back down to single digits for MSUB. This one's driving the lane, flipped up, missed shot. Rebound goes to MSUB. Nice step back, just not enough arc on the shot there. Offensive board is put up and in by Taryn Shelley. The Yellow Jackets had 2 offensive boards on that possession. Surely frustrating head coach Christy Martin. Ricochet pass, but it gets to Brown. Brown now to Galbraith. Now it's Morris with it. Morris drives, and she is called for the walk. Another hockey sub for MSUB as head coach Kevin Wooden, very fond of the hockey substitution method. 5 new players on for the Jackets.
Yellow Jackets with their largest lead of the game at 11. 4 minutes left, third quarter.
Courtney Nelson bringing it up. It looked like it was supposed to be a pick and roll, but then pass to Kunkel. Big Geesey, now she gets it back. She'll pat and shoot it short, and the rebound goes the way. Oh, the referee almost called that the wrong way, because that was definitely out on Lauren Morris. It will be Yellow Jackets ball. They're going to refresh the shot clock at 20, and 3:44 to go in the quarter. For good reason, this Yellow Jackets roster is made up of a lot of Montana players. Kevin Wooden himself is a Montana native. He's out of Libby, Montana, which is in northwest Montana. Their mascot, of the Libby High School can tell you the industry of the town. They're the Libby loggers. Abundance of trees up there in northwest Montana. That one's missed. And it will be 2 free throws for Courtney Nelson.
Foul number 25, Madeline Brown. That was her second personal. At the line for 2 shots will be the Yellow Jackets number 14, Courtney Nelson.
Some Montana trivia with Scott Gladstone.
Yeah, I don't know some of these mascots. Double A, which is the largest classification of high schools in Montana. I know all their mascots because that's what I played in. I played all of them. I know at Billings West, they're an example of that, the Golden Bears. Libby Loggers, you just know that one because that rolls off the tongue, right? But Winifred, which is a very small town in Montana, I do not know the mascot. And they have 2 players from Winifred, Montana, a pipeline from out in kind of no man's land in the middle of the state there. Shanoa Louie nearly throws it away after nearly traveling a couple times. Then a long-range shot put up. Rebound, Lauren Morris. Morris, she fades away and puts it up. She misses. Rebound, Rios. Rios then throws it away. It's intercepted by Montague. Then all the way up the court, and it's put in by the Yellow Jackets. Timeout, Christy Martin. A run to forget right now as the Yellow Jackets feel like they've scored at least a point on every offensive possession they've had. Meanwhile, the Saints' offense has continued to be hard to come by. We'll take another break. It's 48-34, Yellow Jackets in front. Back here in beautiful Lacey, Washington, on the south coast of the Puget Sound. Saints are preparing to inbound. They're just trying to figure out who is inbounding. Christy Martin calling the timeout. The Saints have been scoreless in the last 2 minutes. Up and in, another great finish from Kunkel, who puts it in.
Yellow Jackets 11-4 on the season, and they're starting to show why.
Trying to shake off the 2 straight GNAC losses that they took last week. And an interception there from Kunkel. Coming the other way now for MSUB. Scores earlier, Central Washington falling to Western Washington, and Simon Fraser taking down Northwest Nazarene. Seattle Pacific currently has a 52-44 lead on Western Oregon. That's called a block on Kiana Rios, who was trying to take the charge there. Instead, it'll be 2 shots for Deani Boyce.
We know we've got viewers in Montana, right, Scott?
Yeah.
They were probably yelling at their phones, yelling at their TV, their tablet, whatever they're watching. Because some of you probably know Winifred, Montana, home to the Outlaws.
The Outlaws.
The Outlaws and the Lady Outlaws. But
Okay.
Scott, in 2021, only 173, the population for Winifred.
Yeah, my high school, Helena High School, had 1,600 students that went to the high school. That's, Winifred. I mean, the thing is, the two players from Winifred, both Madeline Hegum and Deani Boyce, who has played really well tonight, some of them were probably playing on the high school team when they were in 8th grade. That's how it happens in some of those small schools. They have to go to the middle school region, even though it's one building, to kind of recruit and figure out who's playing for them. So as Sarah Lamette hits that, a lot of experience, a lot of big-time experience. When you're an 8th grader playing against 18-year-olds, you tend to grow up quick, and we're seeing some of that experience pay off really well for Boyce. This one's flipped up, missed, rebound, Brown. 50 seconds to go in this third quarter. Maya Hatchett-Gross nearly gets it to go, as I think they were trying to go 2 for 1 there. Kind of rushing a shot as Boyce looked hard at the bucket, but then pass it off to Giese. Giese makes it rain from downtown. They'll hold for the last shot, will the Saints. Down 54-36 here, trying to end the quarter on a high note. Maybe get some sort of momentum going into the fourth. Hatchett-Gross gets a fall down there, and then a missed three-pointer goes to the Yellow Jackets. There's 2 seconds left, but MSU be in no rush to try and get something off. And we will head to the fourth. A little bit surprising there as we saw Courtney Nelson go down. I feel like we have not seen a flop warning called in a women's game, but if they're not calling a charge or a block there, it's something that you see called a flop, at least in the men's game. We've seen that plenty this year, but does not get called there, and the Saints come up empty on the final possession of the third. 54-36 as we head into the fourth. We got 10 minutes remaining here from Marcus Pavilion. Angel Galbraith will get the inbounds here as we start this fourth quarter. It's 54-36, the scoreline. Saints need a big fourth. And it starts with two players that just touched the ball, Galbraith and Rios. They would probably need to score quite a bit and lead the way for the Saints if they're going to find a way to make this contest a little closer. Rios all the way to the rack, and she puts it in. Count it, and the foul. That's a good way to start right there, Sean.
Couldn't draw it up any better.
Kevin Wood not happy with the call there. That is her second personal foul. One more shot. Number 20, Kiana Rios.
Rios probably in a little shock and awe at how the Red Sea nearly parted there for her to just get wide open in the lane. Defender coming over late for the foul.
Saints are, I'm assuming, going to be in a full court press this entire quarter, just trying to create chaos for the final 9 minutes and change. Into Kunkel, guarded by Lamette. Lamette on 3 fouls. He's the only player for either side in foul trouble. Giese then looks inside. This one's dribbled off the foot of a Yellow Jacket and out of bounds. Saints ball.
Saints scored 14 in the second and in the third, highest they've scored by quarter. Trouble is, I gave up 23 to the Yellow Jackets in the third quarter.
Lamette with it now. Lamette puts it to Morris. Morris guarded by Kunkel. Kunkel using the kind of face guard technique as she had hands right in the face of Morris. This is Brown looking down into Lamette. Lamette fouled. She'll shoot 2 more shots. Saints going back to the line.
Sorry, Scott. Saints have to dig themselves out of this hole. One way to do that is not have the clock move, get fouled while shooting, and earn them at the free throw line.
That's exactly what the Saints are going to try and do here, try and take advantage of kind of the stop and start action of this game the whole way.
First free throws of the evening for Lamette. For the game, 7 of 9 as a team, so Saints shooting well from the free throw line. Let's see if they can keep it up and climb back in this one. Lamette nails them both.
Those were only her 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of her career. She's shooting 1,000 lifetime in her collegiate career. (54-41). Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only 2 free throws missed by the Saints were the 2 by Angel Galbraith all the way back in the first quarter. They've made 9 straight now since then. She went 0 for 2 on that first one. I remember we were going, well, she shoots better than that.
Correct, and she's made 1 after that.
There's an air ball, going to be another Saints possession. Let's keep an eye on Kevin Wooden to see how much he lets this happen, as we've seen 5 straight points from the Saints to open the quarter. Lamette looking for it down low. She puts it up, gets it to go.
So the Sarah Lamette show early on in the fourth quarter. Her and Rios.
14 points for Sarah Lamette, 14 for her freshman Rios as well. A missed shot, but an offensive rebound. This one put up, that one's missed. Sarah Lamette had a hand on the rebound, but she pushed it right to Nelson. Nelson now with it, as they're more than happy to burn some clock on each possession. Look down low, good recovery from Kunkel, then poked away by Sarah Lamette. Coming the other way, Angel Galbraith heads a 2-on-1. Morris loops it up and in. And it has been a 9-0 run to start the quarter and cut it to single digits.
Great awareness by Galbraith, finding the streaking Morris for the layup. And Morris falls down.
Offensive foul. the stiff arm right there. And again, I'm a little bit surprised we're not seeing a timeout. I know it's still a 9-point edge, but on the road, you gotta make sure you stop any momentum, and it's 9-0. The offense has bought themselves a couple extra possessions with some offensive rebounds that last time they had it, but still no buckets to show for it in the fourth. 54-45. Down to Lamette. Lamette flips it in. Timeout, MSUB. It's a 7-point ball game. Sean, I hope those fans in Montana didn't tune out yet, because they got an exciting finish on their hands. So do we. We'll be right back from Lacey, Washington. back here. We are in the fourth quarter, 7:03 to go, 54-47. The Yellow Jackets lead the Saints. They're back out in the full court press, trying to create as much havoc as possible. In just 3 minutes, they've gone on a huge run that has cut a heavy, that's a 10-second violation.
The Saints bench is hopping. Coach Christy Martin, a little pep in her step. Marcus Pavilion has a little life.
11-0 run to start the quarter, and the Saints can make it even more. It has been Lamette and Rios that has been the biggest part of this run, but can't knock off anybody that's been on the floor for the Saints. It has been a total team effort to cut the deficit down. Lamette looking for space on the inside. That ball's poked away, coming the other way now, headed up by Andreas. Double dribble. Danielle Zahn just had a little bit of a brain fart there and brought it and was thinking about jump stopping, I think, and brought her hand up, just tapped the ball with the left hand and then put it back down. Double dribble will go the other way, and Zahn will be replaced by Skylar Patton. Patton, the only player that is not from the region, Houston, Texas, by way of Gillette College, which is in Wyoming. Morris with it. Lamette's continuing to battle on the post.
7 to shoot.
Galbraith with it. Drives inside.
And
Galbraith.
one.
Oh, just didn't go down for Galbraith. She does get 2 shots at the line. I mean, shit, yeah. That's one that we've seen enough times this season to just feel like it was going to be an and one. In the end, it doesn't fall, but still can cut their mountain to make up to 5. Missed that shot. And again,
25% on the night from the line. Something we normally don't see.
Gets that one to go. 6-point lead, 2-possession game. 6:03 to go. As we see Carrie Ann Kunkel check in.
Yellow Jackets had an 18-point lead.
Boyce is on the.
Look at the press.
Almost worked again. We got 3 fouls on Boyce, 3 fouls on Lamette. That's the foul trouble to look at. Both of those players are on the floor now, as Boyce is the one setting the screen right now. And we get a travel called on number 2, Skylar Patton. Lamette right now leading all scorers with 16. On the other side, it's Boyce with 11 as Patton checks out.
We talk about Lamette with those 3 fouls. She's playing like she has none. It's good to see. You can't play scared and timid. It's not going to help your team any, and that's when bad things can happen.
Especially not in the fourth. She does a little pick and roll action and flips it in. 18 for Sarah Lamette.
The freshman from Tigard, Oregon, unstoppable in this fourth quarter.
Another good press put on. Had about 2 seconds left to go before it would have been another 10-second violation. Christy Martin, I mean, she's almost like a 6th man out there on the floor as that's called on Sarah Lamette, her 4th foul. That's a huge call right there as she nearly got a steal. Instead, it is not.
Just as I mentioned, she's playing with no care. You pick up the 4th that was unnecessary, and now you have to come out of the ball game so you can hopefully play the final 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and they're going to check in Emily Nelson now. What we might see from Christy Martin here the final couple minutes is probably an offensive, defensive kind of thing, especially with Lamette being young and making sure that she doesn't, make a youthful mistake and commit a 5th foul on something that didn't need it. Emily Nelson on defense worked out well there as she intercepts that one. Oh, that was nearly a dime from Angel Galbraith, who scoped out the field, saw Lauren Morris just a little bit too low in an awkward spot for Morris to receive it. 4-point game, 5 minutes to go. It was 18 to start this quarter. The Saints are on a 14-0 run in this frame. And I'll take credit for that one. That was my bad. Bucket goes in for MSUB. They break the drought and the run from SMU. Nelson fighting for it down low. Nearly tipped away, but Nelson gets it back. Now it's Brown with it. Brown back to Morris. Morris, Galbraith. Galbraith, the step through, can't get it to go. Morris, offensive rebound. Morris gets fouled down low, and they are in the bonus, so 2 shots for Lauren Morris. Big ones at the charity stripe.
Being in the bonus already with 4:21 left could be huge for the Saints the rest of the way. Only 1 foul for St. Martin's on their end. Long way to go for MSUB if they want to shoot free throws.
Morris makes the first. 5-point lead for MSUB. This is an MSUB squad that, despite their 2 losses last week, are ranked 7th in the West region. They're a really good squad. And you already mentioned their record at 11-4. Missed free throw, almost got away with it, was Emily Nelson, as we get a dribble down to the knees and gets back up. Everybody in the gym rooting for SMU was cheering for a travel. Nobody got the call, though.
I didn't know you could slide to your knees and maintain possession and not travel.
Driving to the rack, and it's poked away by Angel Galbraith. That was Nelson that lost it. Now Rios. Oh, Rios wanted the 3, but she was held going to the bucket after the pump fake, and now Rios will have a chance to cut this ball game to 1 possession.
What a change we've had here just in this quarter.
Yeah,
game looked out of reach to start the 4th. MSUB cruising. Now they're having to fight to stay in front. Fight off this furious Saints run.
15-2 is the score line in this 4th. Make it 16-2. I said, right as we went out to end that 3rd quarter, I said the Saints are going to need a lot in this 4th, a big run in this 4th, and they got it to start, and now it's anybody's ball game. We are at 1 possession with 3:48 to go. They beat the press, do the Yellow Jackets. They need a bucket here. This is a crucial possession for MSU Billings. Down to the low block. Kunkel guarded by Rios. Kunkel flips it. She can't make it. Offensive rebound, and they'll take it out. A huge board. That was by Giese. Now down to the low block. Royce guarded by Nelson. Back out to Giese. Giese drives. She steps back. She puts it up, and it goes in and out. Nelson can't get the rebound. Foul is called on Lauren Morris. 2 offensive boards, Sean, and that, both of those were huge because they had decent looks. Missed it, but they bought themselves more time.
Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. Seems so simple and so very, very vital in these final 3 minutes. Right now, the advantage to the Yellow Jackets.
Down to the low block, and it's another foul call on Morris. That's going to be Morris's 4th. She's a key player in this SMU squad. She's frustrated with the call, frustrated with herself, and it'll be 2 shots at the line for Carrie Ann Kunkel as Sarah Lamette comes back in for Emily Nelson. So we got 2 players on the floor for SMU with 4 fouls in Morris and Lamette.
Coach Martin going for it, rolling the dice with those 2 impressive players, Morris and Lamette with 4 fouls. But there's only 3 minutes left in the contest, and her team now down 5.
Nobody in major foul trouble for MSUB. It's Boyce with 3. She's the only with 3. 58-53, 5-point game, 2:50 to go. Galbraith with it. Looking down low. Lamette directing traffic from down on the low block. She gets it on the low block, looking for options, but then she kicks it back out. There's 7 on the shot clock. Now 5. Kick out. Lauren Morris can't drain it from 3, but it's Brown with the rebound. Kick out for Rios. Oh, she went too far on that one, and then a foul will be called on St. Martin's.
Who's it going to be on?
Fouls on number 15 is
And it's Sarah Lamette. She has fouled out of the ball game.
She just came back in, too.
It was just in that fight for it after the rebound where Sarah Lamette gets called for the foul. Her fifth. Sarah Lamette finishes with 18 points. Here's almost kind of a shocking number. She was held to 0 rebounds by this MSUB squad, but clearly an offensive powerhouse and somebody that Christy Martin keyed in on to try and take advantage. As this ball's it's going to be another 10-second violation.
Timeout.
Oh, timeout called by Kevin Wooden. There is 1 second to throw it over the midway line. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. It is a 5-point game here at Marcus Pavilion. We're back here. It is a 5-point game, 2:16 to go. The Yellow Jackets have 1 second to get it across half court. They're just going to heave it up. And it's going to be tipped up and out of bounds. And I guess that goes down as a non-10-second violation. And good timeout from Kevin Wooden, who bailed his team out of a turnover there by just saying, throw it up. And if we can retain possession in our front court, it's better than losing it in the back court. Critical defensive possession for the Saints. They're switching on everything. Ball's inside. Another great post move there from Carrie Ann Kunkel when she gets it on the block. Despite that she's 5'10", which is shorter for a post, she has some automatic moves down there.
Great pivot spin in the lane. Kunkel makes it a 7-point ball game as Morris
Fights inside and she puts it in. 140, another player that plays a little bit bigger than her height. Now Kunkel brings it down. They'll slow it up. They're going to milk as much of this shot clock as they can, MSUB. Gets it to Kunkel, guarded by Rios. Battle on the low block with Royce and Eternity Reed. 5-second, closely guarded. Kunkel had that for 5 seconds and didn't put it on the ground, and a rare call. We rarely see that, especially because they took away that you can't get called for 5 seconds closely guarded when you're dribbling it. I think that was a rule in the last year or two. Because they took that away, it's even more rare that you see it called, but called there, and a big call. The Saints have the ball down 5 with 1:16 to go. We're going to take another break. Don't go anywhere. It is anybody's ball game. Back here as we get an inbounds into Lauren Morris. Lauren Morris fading away, can't get it to go. That would have been huge and cut it to a one-possession game. Now It'll be brought up by MSUB, and again, they'll try and tick the clock down. The Saints do not need to foul here. Oh, as Keely Jade Smith is called for it, however. That's the 5th foul, which means free throws the rest of the way for both sides.
Good news for St. Martin's. The clock stops, only 1 minute exactly left. We'll see if Nelson can ice this one.
She's one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, shooting over 80% from the charity stripe. Makes the first. 1 minute on the dot. Well, good old announcer's jinx if she misses it, and then it goes out, and it goes off of the Saints.
Got to grab the rebound. You got to grab the rebound. How many times now have we seen loose balls go the way of the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, that one was battered around, squirted around a little bit. And when your 80% free throw shooter misses her free throw, it is very fortunate to have the Saints not able to grab a hold of it. Get yourself another possession, especially when you mentioned that time is of the essence right now for the Saints.
Yellow Jackets 35 rebounds, Saints 26.
Ball is inbounded to Montague. Again, Saints switching on everything. Rios guarding Nelson. Now gets it to Royce, who's guarded by Reed. Ball is put into Kunkel. Kunkel, guarded by Ryan Clear, who we haven't seen in a while. Misses the shot. Great defense from Clear. Now Rios brings it up. Rios gets it back to Galbraith. They need buckets, and they need buckets quick. Ryan Clear with it. Clear drives. She had some contact on her there. She misses the shot, however. And now another full court press being put on. And Angel Galbraith will foul with 20 seconds to go. That might be just about all the Yellow Jackets need to get out here with the win.
Clear with a nice drive for St. Martin's. She's unable to get the ball through the hoop. And again, rebounds coming into the hands of the Yellow Jackets. Just 20.3 left, and they're still up 6 after another free throw miss.
Yeah, Nelson missing again. Sophomore out of Scobie, Montana. Makes the second there. Timeout. St. Martin's, 20.3 to go. It's a 7-point lead. It's going to take a lot right now. Let's go over some stats right now while we have you in a break. Sarah Lement fouled out of this game, so we're not going to see her again, but she finishes with 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting from the field. An absolutely outstanding game for her offensively. Kiana Rios, second on the team in scoring with 16 points. And Lauren Morris, who's on 4 fouls, has 11 points. Problem is besides that trio, the Saints have found points hard to come by. Galbraith with 4, Brown with 4, Oster with 2. There's a lot of players that you usually see on the score sheet. I look at Clear, Louie, Nelson, that are not even on the points scored in this contest. On the other side, it's Kunkel, who has taken the lead in scoring for MSUB with 14, and Boyce right behind her at 11. Rios for 3, makes it go. Timeout now for MSUB. That doesn't make it a one-possession game, but it certainly makes it a little bit more interesting. 17.4 to go.
Technically, it could make a 3 and get fouled.
Yeah. I mean, if they do that, that's one of the more boneheaded things to do.
If we can pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah, you're correct. Right now, on one side, Kevin Wooden probably drawing something up, trying to just get a successful inbound essentially to his best free throw shooter. That's probably the plan on that side. On the other side, Christy Martin, it's kind of twofold. You got to draw up your best play to possibly get a steal on the inbounds, but at the same time, figure out who do you want to go to the line, who do you really want to keep off the free throw line. One of the best free throw shooters for MSUB, Courtney Nelson, is 2 for 4 of her last 4. So there's a lot of things to consider out there. and a lot of discussion probably happening in either huddle.
Yellow Jackets have left 6 points at the free throw line. They're 12 of 18. St. Martin's have left the 4 points they need right now, 12 of 16 from the line. Scott, hard to say a game this early in the season is big, but it really is for both teams. Billings Conference, they're 2-2. They've lost 3 in a row. It's going to be big for the Yellow Jackets to get back on the winning side and go to 3-2 in conference. A lot of teams right now buckled at 2-2. Alaska Anchorage, Simon Fraser, Northwest Nazarene at 3-2, Central Washington 3-2, and the Saints, they would love to get that first conference victory.
We do have a final down from Monmouth. Seattle Pacific has defeated Western Oregon. And the ball is inbounded to Royce. It took a while for that inbounds to happen, probably a good 3.5, 4 seconds, but doesn't get the 5-second inbounding call. Boyce, a worse free throw shooter than Kunkel, who you really don't want to go to the line at 88%, but Boyce still a solid 75%. The Winifred Outlaw, former Winifred Outlaw, as that is the 5th foul on Lauren Morris. Morris finishes with 11 points and 8 rebounds. She had a double-double last time out and nearly grabs a double-double again from her effort tonight, and she had some big baskets down the stretch here. First free throw is in from Deani Boyce. Second one is in as well. Quick inbounds to Galbraith. They need buckets, and they need buckets quick. Galbraith to the rack, flips it, and it won't go. Rebound to MSUB, and they'll tick more time off the clock. And a quick foul is called on Angel Galbraith. I said it just a second ago, but maybe that is all that MSUB needs to escape with the win, unless the Saints can drop 6 points in 4.6 seconds of play.
That drive by Galbraith, almost a microcosm of the evening for St. Martin's. You make the right read, the right drive, you're at the hoop, and you just leave it a smidge short.
Aspen Giese makes the first shot on the other side. The way I kind of started talking about MSUB, they are a complete team. They have a lot of different players that can contribute, and it's led by Kunkel, and she leads the point scoring today, but Boyce and Giese both in double figures. You see Shelley, Montague had those 2 big threes that broke them out of their funk in the first quarter. And now we're going to have a timeout here in the Lake Dome. Was that called to SMU?
Yes, it was.
All right, so they'll advance the ball, and down 8 with 4.6 seconds to go. It'll be Christy Martin to draw something up. And whatever she draws up, it'll be interesting to see how successful it turns up. Tiana Rios is now the leading point scorer with 19. She just passed up Sarah Lamette with that 3-point bucket that she had earlier. Leading rebounder for the Yellow Jackets is Giese. She has 7 boards today. Inbound from the near side. It's Angel Galbraith to inbound.
3 from the top.
Now it's out of bounds, and that will be the contest. 0.7 left to tick off the clock. And that is the final score. 66-58 is our scoreline. All the way up in Bellingham. The MSUB men are in a fight there, so we should be having a post-game interview with Christy Martin. If you want to stick around and watch that, again, if you're an MSUB fan, maybe tune into the Western Washington YouTube page and watch the end of their game, because there's not much time remaining, right, Sean?
3-point lead for the men, Yellow Jacket, and they are undefeated at this point in conference play.
Should be interesting to see how that one shakes up. Again, we will be finishing up this broadcast with an interview with head coach Christy Martin after her team storms back in the 4th. Outscored MSUB 22-12, but in the end, they just don't have the gas in the tank to finish off the comeback. Another kind of heartbreaking late surge comeback, and that was kind of a storyline of the last game. They came out slow against Western Oregon. They had a late surge, and just too little, too late yet again here at Marcus Pavilion.
Close, but close only counts in a few things in basketball, not one of them.
All right, we will take a quick break. We'll talk to head coach Christy Martin on the other side of our break. And don't go anywhere, because it'll be interesting to hear what head coach Martin has to say after the loss. If you do tune out, join us back on Saturday for the Seattle Pacific women playing here at Marcus against
5:15.
5:15, not 7. We'll throw you off a little bit. Hopefully everybody's awake and ready for that one.
Coach Martin up next.
We'll talk to Coach Martin in a second. Don't go anywhere. Sky Gladstone here with head coach Christy Martin after the 66-58 loss for SMU against MSU Billings. Coach, it was another kind of slow start, obviously, and it was slow for both sides. Your defense played really good that first quarter. The problem is the offense wasn't finding the buckets. How do you kind of remedy that, especially probably with the frustration seeing what happened in the fourth quarter? You know this team can play with the likes of MSU Billings, who's regionally ranked. They they came out and scored 14 in a row to start the fourth. Yeah. How kind of frustrating is that for you to just say, if we have that start there, we know we can finish better in the same way that you did against Western Oregon?
Well, the potential is for sure there, and I appreciate that you see that. Right now, just trying to stay present in every possession and win every possession, get better each and every time that we have an opportunity to, and that's really all that we can do, is just kind of stay with this process and keep making adjustments until we find the right mix.
Obviously, you came into this game with a little bit different strategy, and a big part of that was Sarah Lamette, who came out, started, and as the game went on, she just seemed to get better and better, and she was a big part of that run in the early fourth quarter. What was that key in, both just kind of on the matchup as well, trying to take advantage of maybe a lack of a size from MSU Billings, but also on realizing that Sarah was kind of ready for this moment and to take a big step up in her young career?
Well, MSU, this is one of the biggest teams that we'll face, and so we went with a bigger lineup. We kind of shook it up a little bit just to kind of give a different look, and for us, Sarah's been just killing it in practice, and we've been waiting for her to get it to kind of click. She's been coming into the office, and we've been chatting and kind of telling her what we're looking for. That's one of the best first-time freshman performances I've seen, and so the future looks really good for us. With what we have going, I'm really proud of the performance. I'm proud of the seniority that played. I think just for us, it's just finding the right mix that is going to work in that game.
This was a game that had kind of a lot of stops and starts, whether it was fouls, traveling, saw a 5-second violation. You guys forced a 10-second violation. Just with not being able to get in that rhythm, and you have a young team and a lot of new pieces that are still kind of finding the pacing of this level. What is kind of your advice to them in situations like that, where it feels like you can't fully get into the rhythm that maybe they're used to playing? What was kind of your communication to them when you felt the mood of this game?
Well, first thing, we got down big, and we just communicated to them in the fourth, we can still win this game. You just have to trust the process. You have to you're not gonna score 18 points, off of one shot. So just continue to chip away, believe in each other, stay with our system, don't go away with it, and just believe in yourself. And I thought that they did that. There's a lot of times during the game that we could have cashed it in. I'm really impressed with our bench. The level of intensity and positivity. Even though some of the kids they didn't get to play a lot when they normally do, and so right now it's just really protecting our culture and pushing forward.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Yep, thanks, Scott.
That'll do it here from Marcus Pavilion. The final score of today's contest, 66-58 in favor of the visiting MSU Billings Yellow Jackets. For all of us here at St. Martin's Athletics, including cameraman Zane Leposki, statsman Ibrahim Mustafa, and our webcast producer Sydney Henderson, my name is Scott Gladstone. For my partner Sean Wally, thank you for tuning in all the way from Scobie, Winifred, Montana to Olympia, Washington. Thank you and have a good night.